Hello, everybody. This is Brandon with ExpeditiousFool.com, putting mindfulness in motion. And today I want to talk a little bit about relationship dynamics. I did the psychic fair yesterday, and during the psychic fair, I had several readings where I was giving this bit of information, which is my understanding of masculine and feminine energy dynamics and them at play and things to look at in the future. So I'm going to talk about that for a second. So first thing we have to realize is that just about everything in this universe is operating based off of two principles, masculine and feminine. Also, you could look at it as stillness and movement if you go sacred geometry far enough, but masculine and feminine. So the masculine side is dynamic. The feminine side is receptive. Now, some people will, like the feminine, you're seeing a lot of feminine energies that densely made a feminine body, right, which is receptive. You're seeing a lot of them out there take on dynamic qualities. They're taking on the qualities of the masculine, right? And they're doing that because they don't have leadership. They don't have divine masculine to really hold space for them. There's a shortage in that because there's so much toxicity, because everything that's spiritual is considered feminine to people now. That's not true, but that's the case of it. So we have a lot of toxic masculinity. So therefore, those individuals are not able to hold space to make the feminine energy feel safe in their leadership, feel trusted in their leadership, right? So then the feminine takes on the dynamic. As soon as they start taking on the dynamic, they become less receptive. And vice versa, this can happen, right? But with that situation, when the feminine takes on the dynamic, that's not her natural state of energy. That's not the way her body was formed, right? Which is her energy. We're energy bodies that are slowed down. So a feminine energy, a female body, its natural essence is to be receptive. Now, that receptive power is actually more powerful than the dynamic when used properly. But when it feels unsafe, when it feels like it doesn't have something holding space for it, a root to lock onto, then it starts taking over that dynamic side. Once it starts doing that, it's not receptive, etc., and then you get this interplay of relationships. So let me explain. Every single fight you've ever had in your relationship, doesn't matter which relationship, every single one has boiled down to two things. It's boiled down to the man, the masculine energy, doesn't feel that you're receptive. On the flip side, the other side, the feminine energy, doesn't feel like the masculine can lead. Okay? Now let me explain, because sometimes I upset people when I say this. But if you're a feminine looking for a masculine, when you go out on a date, when you go to chill and hang out with somebody, there's one question that should be in your mind. Do I want this person to lead me? Is this someone that I think has the potential to lead me? And now, why I say I'm going to clarify, because I don't mean lead as in a toxic masculine way that society has programmed you to think of a leader. I mean a true leader. So not somebody that's going to boss you around or order food for you or something like that. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is a true leader, meaning somebody that's holding space for you, somebody that's holding up that home for you, that home feeling, that sanctuary that you feel safe to go to. You feel safe in their decisions. This person is secure in themselves. They're confident in themselves, right? That's the type of leadership qualities I'm talking about. A true leader, not the toxic masculine leadership, which is what a lot of the feminine energy, when they take on dynamic, that's what they try and do. They try and manage like a toxic masculine. Don't, girls. You're so much more powerful than that, right? And then on the flip side, guys, that masculine energy out there, understand when you go to a situation, a date, chilling, vibing with somebody, think about it. Is this person receptive to me? Don't try and finagle the situation. Don't try and control the situation. Don't try and manipulate the situation. Just understand and realize and keep down here, is this person receptive to my energy? Period. Right? Because essentially, when we start fighting about all the things we create up here, the Maya, he didn't do, she didn't do, well, I always do, they don't do, all of this that we go through with relationships, all that ever is The masculine energy doesn't feel they're receptive, and the feminine energy doesn't feel that they're a good leader and dynamic, so it doesn't make them feel safe. This cannot be worked through. Understand that. If you feel that way, there's a deep incongruence. It's not going to work. It's going to be fighting. Let it go. Let that situation end before it starts. But really look at it from those energetic dynamics, because everything else is made up. Everything else in your head, all the reasons why, the red flags, the green flags, all of that, it's all made up. All that matters is whether or not you see them as a leader for the feminine, and masculine, all that matters is if you feel they're receptive. And the thing is, masculine, if you're not in a divine space, they're not going to feel receptive. Sorry, they're not. That's on you. It's on the masculine to hold that space for them. On the flip side, feminine, if he's not a good enough leader, that says something. That says he's got some work to do, right? It also might say that you have some work to do. Might say that you can't recognize a good leader. Maybe he is in that good spot, but because you haven't done self-work, his growth offends you. That happens too. We got to have that self-awareness and that honesty when we're looking at the situation, when we're really wanting to make something happen. And that's the people I'm talking to today. So those are the two energies at play. Feminine is receptive, masculine is dynamic. I know that some people may have different ways to feel about this, and I have no problem talking at length and in depth about this, because I think this is something that more people need to understand. That way we can get along a whole lot better. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Y'all go out and have a great day on purpose.